Good morning, welcome back to the channel. For those that don't know me, I'm Kerry, I'm the redhead reseller. I sell across eBay, Vinted, Etsy, Depop, Vestiaire, although Depop and Vestiaire are still really shocking. I've been so behind my videos. I've had pretty much every illness you can think of. I was sick for a few weeks with a stomach bug. Then I had a wisdom tooth and a filling done. Wisdom tooth taken out and a filling done. Then I caught tonsillitis for 10 days. Then I had another wisdom tooth taken out. Then I got food poisoning. So, yeah, it's been great. So I apologise for the inconsistency on videos. And I have been very behind with getting any videos out and also any sales updates because I've been feeling like terrible, like absolute crap. Hence why I still look really tired. But I have two separate sales updates for you. So you're going to see me pretty much looking like this twice on the road because I have two separate ones. And that's only because I'd already worked everything out and I can't bother to reworking everything out. So we will go through our sales. We are starting on £10,564.73. I will go through the usual eBay first. Then we've got Vinted and a couple on Etsy as well, actually. So, first of all, we've got this rhino head figure. It cost me £2. I sold it for £12.99. I always pick toys up when they're in bundles. A lot of the charity shops by me don't sell individual figures, just bundle them up for like 5 or 6 of them for like £2 or £3. So when it's like that, I tend to pick them up because for a couple of quid I can make maybe 50-60 quid out of the 6 of them, if not more. So yeah, I always tend to pick them up. We've then got the shooting waistcoat. Now this was hard. I paid £8 for it. They sell well, but it had no size in it. So obviously measurements and stuff instead, but it sold for 55 quid very quickly as well. So shooting waistcoats are worth picking up. I've got this Jack in a Box, paid 50p, sold it for £14.99. We've then got this cream. They picked that up for 50p. I sold that for £7. We've got a hiking bag. I paid £1. I sold it for £17. Another figure out of the little bundles that I buy. Assassin's Creed figure this time. Worked out he cost me 50p based in the bundle. Sold that one for £15.99. We've got these Lego Duplo figures. Now these came in a bundle I got for free back in September last year, and I think this might be the last thing to sell out of it. I made some decent profit in that. That's the same bundle that had the was it Star Wars old vintage Lego in it. So yeah, made some really good profit on that. But I sold this one for £5.99. Cars figures. I picked up a load of Cars, the Disney Cars figures. They're like this size ones because you can get these in all different shapes and sizes. I picked them up. There was like a bundle in the charity shop and it was 50p a car, so I just picked them all up. I think I paid £12 for all of them. So it cost me 50p each. I sold this one for £12.99. These are going out quite quickly, but just like they're a constant thing. This Ralph Lauren shirt cost me £1. I sold it for £15. These Clark boots, I will always pick up Clarks, always, because they sell so well, especially men's Clarks. So I paid £2 for these. I sold them for £20. They're very quick flips usually. More Playmobil, because we know how much I love my Playmobil. I'm definitely niching a little bit towards the Playmobil. I just seem to be falling into it, but I like playing. Well, I say I like playing with it. I like sorting it out. So then try and put all the sets together. I know it takes so much time, but it keeps me entertained. So this one was 74p, part of the last bundle I bought. I've just sold this one for £15. This Coca-Cola glass randomly cost me 54p, and I sold that for £7.99. This Thomas toy cost me £1. I sold this one for £8.99. Again, that was part of one of the bundles. This Jim Henson plush cost me 50p and I sold it for £11. Scopes waistcoat. This is part of the Scopes bundles that I've been picking up for 99p per item. Brand new with tags. So this one, again, 99p. Sold this one for £27. Disney tie cost me £1. I sold it for £11 and 4p. I must have had a sale on for the 4p. This hand puppet cost me £2. I sold it for 20. We've then got this moisturiser, cost me 20p, sold it for £6.79. Makeup remover cost me 50p, I sold it for £8 and 7p. This bread bin cost me £2, I sold it for £19.54. It did have some marks and wear on it, so that's why it went cheap. A Sweaty Betty jumper cost me £1, I sold it for £11. These Nike Jordans, I've had these forever, like ever and ever and ever and ever. Bought them on Vinted for £6 and 14p. Now this must have been well over a year ago. But they finally sold for £33 and 19p with a sale. So yeah, they sold and I got a decent profit out of them in the end. This paperweight cost me £1.25. I sold it for £15. This game cost me £2. I sold it for £19.99. This Melman plush cost me 50p. I sold this for £14.99. More Playmobil cost me 74p. Sold this one for £15. Hello Kitty laptop hung around forever as well. Bought it for £3. I sold it for £19.99. I wouldn't buy it again. Hung around far too long. This Snow White plate, I bought it for £3.50 from the car boot probably this time last year. It finally sold for £24.99. More Playmobil. Cost me 74p. Sold it for 25 quid. So that's everything for eBay. We've then got Vinted. Now Vinted, I only tend to sell stuff on Vinted when I delist and relist every day. So I use Crosslist. I am only part-time, but I plan on going full-time. I have now knocked down 10 hours a month. I don't know if I've already told you guys that, but the business is going in the right way. So I've managed to knock down 10 hours a month of my hours, which is fantastic. So I'm no longer full-time. But I use Crosslist to help me cross-list everything over rather than doing it manually. It has been a dream come true for me and a lifesaver. So every single day I sit there and I delist all of my 500 odd items and I relist all my 500 odd items on Vinted. So to stop myself getting caught by the bots, because obviously we know I've been caught by the bots before, I do it in set to 20 every half an hour. So I do delist 20, and then once they've all delisted, I then relist the same 20, and then about half an hour later, I do it again and again and again every half an hour, and that works. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it has been getting me the sales in, which is fantastic. Using the same photos, the same description, same price, everything. So Vinted, we've got this Wind in the Willows plush. I bought it for 50p. It hung around for ages, but it was like this big. I sold it for £14.99. These wellies cost me 50p. I sold them for £11.20. Steve Madden bag did not hang around long at all. Cost me £2. I sold it for 20. Bear in mind, none of these have fees. Yahtzee cost me 50p. Sold it for £6.99. These switch controls cost me 50p. Sold them for £6.99. This game cost me 50p. I sold it for £6. This hat cost me 50p. I sold it for £4. I don't like these small sales, but small sales obviously add up. That's over 20 quid anyway from 4 sales, so it does add up. It just takes a little bit more work. This Columbia jacket cost me £1. I sold it for £7.99. More Playmobil cost me 74p. I sold this one for £22. These fireman figures, fireman stand figures, these were part of a different set. So I bought a set for £1, and these were extra. So I had the original box with the full set in, and then these have been placed in it as well. So I got 3 sets altogether out of this one set. So it cost me 50p for this one, sold this one for a fiver. Monster High figure cost me 50p, I sold it for £9. Good Old Scrabble cost me £1, sold this one for £12.50. Another Jellycat. I think I'm completely out of Jellycats now. Sold this one for 50p. Bought this one for 50p, sold this one for 15. This Osborne tie cost me 50p, sold this for £6.99. A tie on Vinted, £6.99. So, you know, you don't have to sell things for £1 on Vinted at all. This barometer, if that's how I'm saying it, cost me £4, sold it for £17. Sonic Tails figure cost me 20p, sold it for £6.50. And lastly, this Cars figure, 50p, sold it for £16. So then we've got, just checking my paperwork, then we've got Etsy. Etsy is the last one. So I've got 3 sales on Etsy. Like I always say, they don't bring in many orders, but they bring in orders that I'd sell more for on Etsy than anywhere else. So this mousy game, I think it's called, cost me 50p. I sold it for £17.99. This can't even get my words out this morning. Magazine rack cost me £2.99. I sold it for £34.99. Again, didn't hang around long. And then lastly, the Tan Puppet cost me 50p. Sold it for £12.99. So that's all my sales. Like I said, we started on £10,564.73. I have then bought £206.61 in stock. And boxes. Now that I've moved units, I've been able to buy some more boxes because I've got more space. So we are ending this on £10,030.74. I am £30.74 away from being on that £10,000 mark. And now if I hadn't bought that stock, I would have been under it. But I had to buy stock, so that's everything for today. Hopefully next time I will be under that £10,000 mark. But yeah, so until the next one, please like, subscribe and comment, and I will see all of you again soon. Bye bye.